We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. The volume.
Here they come and get wicked. Here we go again.
My brother from another mother.
What up, bro?
Man, I'm getting the weekend rolling, man. I was off today though, man. Actually got a chance to do some relaxing though, man. So I'm looking forward to getting this weekend cracking. Trying to go see Creed too, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to Saturday.
Yeah.
You watched the Mando?
I saw the Mando, bro. Hype. Like I'm back in Mando mode. And I watched Bad Batch as well. I caught up. I was probably like I missed 2 episodes of Bad Batch. So I watched them back to back and watched Mando, bro. So I was all the way in my Star Wars element. Plus, they're only 30 minutes long, so it didn't take long at all. I was mad that Mando wasn't longer, by the way.
Right, for it to be the season premiere. But
yeah.
And I didn't catch the rest of Bad Batch because I forgot since Mando came and I wasn't even thinking about Bad Batch no more.
Dang. Yeah, man.
Yo,
I think that it's I think that what go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell you though, man. We supposed to have some bad rain and wind out here, so I'm wondering how this Wi-Fi. We might be taking the L today. If I'm sounding a little laggy, just want to give you the heads up though.
Oh no, that's why I'm trying to let you finish after you say something because I can tell we already have that lag. But before you say something, are you caught up with the new season of Bel-Air? I didn't catch the second episode, but I watched the first episode.
Okay, so there would have been an episode that came out yesterday then, right? They come out on Thursday. So I didn't watch the episode from yesterday, but I did watch the first episode, for the new season.
What you think so far?
I think it's dope. Listen, I think that the funny thing about it, man, is that I've always liked that I've liked all of them. Like, I don't know, maybe some people didn't particularly like how dark it was in comparison to the TV show, right? But I like the adaptation of this one though, man. So I thought it was dope. It was a good segue into the previous one though.
Yeah, I do like that we get the cameos from the old cast in it. Obviously we got Tatiana Ali in this previous episode. So that was cool just to catch the glimpse of, seeing the cast, the old cast sprinkled in there here and there. So
yeah. No, I think that like I said, I think that it's man. I did see the Tatiana Ali cameo on that first episode. I thought that was dope. She still looked like Ashley Young looking on that. I'm surprised, maybe because she's been in the game so young. I'm just very surprised though, man, that we don't see more of her though, bro. That's the one thing I was just sitting there thinking, like, yo, she still look dope. Like, why wouldn't she be out there more?
Maybe she's doing a bunch of independent stuff that we don't know about.
Maybe, but God, man, you're gonna have to maybe go to Google to see what she been doing though, man. Because Tatiana Ali, let's see here. While that's going on, let's get that music going, man.
All right.
Let's do it.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
If you smell what the rock. It doesn't
time.
Listen, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe to the Slash Brothers YouTube and Facebook pages. We are live on both platforms at the same time. Click on the notification or that bell. That way you get the heads up whenever your boy's name is going live. Ace Kennedy, I'm looking here, bro. And she has been in every year. She's been in movies. They're just movies that I don't know. Some of these are shorts. Some of them are short films. Some of them are movies. But they're movies that, to be quite honest with you, I've never heard of any of these movies. So, bro.
Yeah.
But nah, just that. Listen, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more of her in some things regularly, though, man. Yeah, that's wild, bro. But I'm thinking the last thing I think that she was in that I didn't even know that I think that we would have seen something of is she was in the Bobby Brown story, though, bro.
Which didn't see that.
Didn't see how. Oh yeah. The Bobby Brown story was hilarious, but I don't remember seeing her on there. Dang, bro. I'm trying to see what else. Nah, I can't even think of anything else that anybody else would have remembered though, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Anywho. But like I said, I like it though, man. I forgot all about that. There was that two once I was trying to get caught up on Amando and all of the stuff yesterday. I just completely forgot about it. My excitement for that one just tossed out everything though, man. But I gotta catch up with that. I probably will catch up on that this weekend though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey man, I happened to catch Marlon Wayans his stand-up. And I got a question for you before I actually talk about that. So It was an HBO special. So is it still a big deal to have an HBO special versus being on Netflix when all of the heavy hitters are now on Netflix?
Man, listen, I think that it's a big deal to just have one, regardless of the platform, right? Because I think that it was a point where you arrived by having one on HBO or whatnot, though, right? But I think that, to be quite honest with you, though, man, I think that once COVID happened and more people were at home, I think that there was that shift from where you arrived with an HBO, Showtime, Cinemax one. And so now I think that it doesn't matter if it's Hulu or Prime Video. I think that now, because you have because how people watch TV changed, and I think that it's I don't think that it's as big of a deal that it's on HBO like it used to be. But that was like, even then, I think that the times where it was a huge deal was, I mean, what you talking about, the Chris Rock era back when he did it back in the early 2000s? So I don't even think it's been that big of a deal in some time, but I think that even now it's even less of a big deal because of that, though.
Well, I get what you're saying, because even Andrew Schultz put his on YouTube. What happened was he actually had a deal. He never did mention what platform it was. He had a deal with a streaming service, but they wanted him to edit some of his content out. And at first he considered doing it. And then he was like, no, I don't want to compromise my material. My fans know me to do A, B, and C. So, and I actually supported him. I actually bought it. And he made the money that he, obviously he would have got the bag by going, but he took a chance on himself because it was well produced. Like it wasn't a slouch show. Like it's a stand-up special. And he did the research. Like he talked about like stuff that I wouldn't even have thought about, like having mics in the crowd so that you could get some crowd reaction versus just hearing it from the mics that's coming from the stage. Like he talked about all of that stuff. They did the research. They put it together. He had like a dope opener. But he made his money and he put it on YouTube. Like he sold like pre-sale links so that you basically get the link, you get to download it and you get to keep it. But then it also released to YouTube. So he made his money. But anyway, back to the Marlon, bro. It was funny because I wasn't planning to just like watch it like I'm a fan of Marlon like that, where it's like, all right, I want to see a stand up. I just was looking for some background noise while I was working. And it actually ended up being funny. He actually did the whole set over the Chris Rock slap. Like, I can't, without spoiling anything, it was the whole set was basically around the slap. And that would seem, so I'm wondering, I know you didn't see it, but do he owe Chris and Will some money because he used that moment as his joke for the whole thing?
Nah, I don't think so.
You
owe him a shout out. You owe him a shout out. You know what I'm saying? But I think that once that becomes okay, so that's just like, does Dave Chappelle owe OJ money from his 3 times that he met OJ? Right? It's becomes part of pop culture now, though, bro. So it happened. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, but the whole set was, and that's just interesting in itself, that the whole set was about the slap, and he did his thing, man. But like I said, and it's funny because if you hear it, you would probably think like, oh yeah, he owe Will 5 minutes, he owed Chris Rock 5 minutes. But then when he got toward the end, you saw the love and reverence that he had for everybody involved. So it's just interesting that he went that hard, but at the end he kind of tied it up like this is a comedic stance on what happened. But because he seems to know all 3 of them very personally.
I'd imagine that he will, bro. This is the thing I think is crazy. So there's a picture, bro, that I've been seeing for years. And I'm thinking about I think that Marlon Wayans is low key has connections, almost like how Jamie Foxx has stories of him and meeting so many people. Like I trip out because there's this iconic picture of Biggie and Tupac. That's the one where I think that Tupac has like the leather vest on and Biggie has the bandana on or something like that, though, man. And like right there, right along with them is Marlon Wayans. And I'm thinking like I never even paid attention to him until it came out. He just said it in an interview, though, man. And he been around, though, man. He's well connected, though, man. So
yeah, but he's well connected because of his brother. He acknowledged that a lot within his set too, as far as like how Keenan is a big part of where he's at. So
see, I gotta watch it now because I saw it, and actually I think he actually has a show out here. I think it's today, matter of fact, though, or tomorrow, where he's doing the show out here, and yeah, I wasn't planning on watching it, but I wasn't planning on not watching it either. So now I got to check it out, though.
Yeah. I think. I mean, like I said, if you ain't got nothing else to watch, then it's a cool little watch to hear what he got to say.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So a lot of people have been talking about this trial that finally came to an end, where the Murdo trial. The cat who killed his wife and kid. Yeah. And the way the judge was talking about it, bro, he was almost like, nah, man, they should have put the death penalty on the table. He was like, because I mean, he got sentenced to life, but the judge was almost like, nah, bro, you really should be getting that death penalty.
It makes sense. I mean, you think about it though, right? If you killed somebody, but you were spared. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, like that's one of those things where I'm not saying that it should be a general rule, but if you kill somebody, then the death penalty should be on the table. Now, whether or not you get sentenced to that, that's another thing, but it shouldn't just be off the table if you kill somebody, though.
Yeah.
And were you speaking of that? I don't think this is anything that has to do with like trials or whatever. But did you see here recently, though, man, that the boy Travis Scott is turning himself in because he beat up a 52-year-old sound engineer? I don't listen. I only know that this dude basically said, yeah, man, he basically snuffed me on now. And he seems like, let him tell it though, man, that he about to die up in this hospital. He can't hear no more. He can't see no more. And listen, the more I'm reading him talking, the more I'm thinking about, I'm hearing the money sound, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Like I'm counting, bro, $100,000 in damages though, bro. 100,000.
And then he said he messed up $12,000 worth of video and sound equipment too. I saw.
Listen, you're gonna have to. It's 100,000 for my pain and suffering, and then you got to basically drop in another 50 to get this man the latest and greatest sound equipment. If it was his personal equipment that got damaged, though, bro, and it was all because I guess that he said that the sound was muffling up or distorting the actual song, and I don't know if this was that they were at a show or what though, man.
No.
But
so what it was that Travis Scott was doing a guest DJing set at said club. And what initially kind of started things off, there was somebody in the crowd that was filming Travis Scott. So he snatched the phone and because the dude was filming and he threw the phone or whatever. And so then the guy was like, if you watch the video, the guy was kind of like to the side of him and Travis Scott was like back up. And so then stuff kept going on. And then you kind of see him go towards the back. There's no real video showing that he swung on the dude, but yeah, he was doing a guest DJing set. That's what it was.
Listen, man, I don't know, bro. These boys, listen, man, they getting out of control, man. I don't know why. Like I don't understand though, bro. How now that people are back outside. And how you could be so annoyed by being around people at the same time, bro. Like maybe because I've never been so I've never been so famous and so recognizable, right? I don't know how annoying fans could actually be, right? But I guess when I think about that though, bro, I guess I just never. My thing is this though, bro. I just couldn't imagine myself, right, being someone hosting me to DJ, right? And they say, hey, we think you'd be great. And fans of yours come out there, right? And you have this going with people who are fans. People support what you do. And maybe because you and I are independent artists and we're not as big of names yet, right? I couldn't fathom reacting. But then again, I don't know. Like I said, is it that big of a deal to you? Like, is that you that testy? Like that part of it just.
Well,
I
you
don't
gotta
get
understand though, for a couple of things, right? If you look at the video, it's not very big space that a lot of people were packed into. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I mean, just imagine us podcasting and you got like 12 people standing behind you in that space of where your camera is, right? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, you got to understand these celebrities have cameras in their faces at all times when they go play. Like Shannon Sharp was I think at the airport or something, picking up a dog.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just had the camera on him like the whole like that's just like
he said, man, while I'm picking up a dog.
Yeah, like but you think about that though, right? That's everywhere. That somebody sees you and then just turns the camera on. Like I like what I don't remember what celebrity it was, but there was a fan that put the camera on him and he turned his camera on, put it on them. And they was like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm doing what you're doing. Like, why does that feel comfortable to you to have the camera in your face?
I see put like this. I understand the Shannon Sharp's part a little bit more because you think if you're Shannon Sharp, I'm not working, I'm not doing any kind of event. This is my personal time, right? I get that. And I understand if you're out, like to me, it would be kind of annoying though, right? If you had paparazzi following you when you go into the gym, when you coming out, when you're trying to do regular things. I get that.
On the shop at the store.
Yeah, but I think that part of that also, right, comes with the territory of that level of celebrity, right? But I think the thing but I don't, like I said, the Travis Scott thing, if you out here getting crazy with fans, when you're on the clock. So this is the job. This is what you're paid for, right? This is right. Why you're the. That's why I kind of draw the difference. But to react, the sound engineer, right? Like you really like that, like I kind of got a problem with that.
There's three sides to every story, though, bro. and I would love to hear all three stories. You know, you got the sound man's this, you got his side, you got Travis Scott's side, and then of course there's the truth.
The
So
sound man sounds like he's about to go into a coma any minute, bro.
I
Hey,
saw
get
him
that.
laid. I seen him laid up in the bed though.
Get it, bro. Get it, bro. Listen, hey, listen. Okay, that to me, that would be no different than if you got into a car accident and somebody kind of tapped your bumper and you just fell out the car like you about to die. You all on the ground like that's it. I got to go ahead now. I got to go in to get my back exam. I got to see a chiropractor. I got to see a doctor. I got medical bills. I got this and yeah. Now I gotta holler at your insurance on that though, bro. Like it's the same thing to me, bro. Like I'm sorry though, man. I just don't. I don't listen. I can understand. Like, was he debuting new music that nobody's ever heard before, or something? He wanted to make sure that people hear it in its purest form. What is it? Like stuff like that? Even still, now listen, man. I can't be mad. Like if you lose your cool that easily, though, bro, when you're on the job, come on, man. Like you and I can't do that at work.
True, but at the same time, though, there's a time and place for everything. Again, I don't know the situation fully to understand. Like maybe it was a thing where they announced, like, "Hey, don't film" or whatever the case may be. Whatever. I understand your point that if you own the job and that's what you know, because when you go to a concert, you ain't stopping nobody from filming, unless you're like doing, you know, like Dave Chappelle and Kevin Hart, to where. You know what I'm saying? You gotta put your phone in the encrypted bag until the show is over. So
yeah. I get that. I get it, man.
Yeah, what else you watching these days, bro? I meant to tell you, I finally finished Spartacus. Been a bit of a journey. Was not expecting that ending. Was not expecting that ending at all. But overall was a real good show. Definitely ahead of its time. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had fun.
You know what though, man? I've been watching. I have been watching Carnival Row on Amazon Prime here. That's kind of like my side one, and I like. So that's the thing. I like the first season. This second one started out great, and then it like did where I was just like, bruh.
See,
I found myself doing. Yeah, I found myself doing so much stuff during episode 3, 4, other stuff. And you know, usually when I'm watching shows like that, it's typically on my laundry days, especially like Thursdays are usually like my days where I pile up, right? So I'm folding up clothes, I'm doing this, that, the other, where I got like a good window to do certain things. And so this time though, man, I was just like, it was losing me. Now it brought me back on these last 2 episodes, but I mean the highs and lows of this season are like all over the place though, bro.
See, I couldn't even get. I'm still on episode 1. I had to stop it because I was so bored. Like it just
season 1 or season 2?
Season 2, episode.
Oh
1.
yeah. Listen, doesn't surprise me. I mean, listen, I think that because here's the thing. My thought is that if you feel that way about season 1, I mean about episode 1, then you'll likely feel that way because episode 1, 2, and 3 seemed like a continuation of that. It changes right around 4, 5. Yeah. But it is. I'm not gonna lie. It was dope. The last 2 episodes that I saw were pretty dope.
Yeah.
Now I've been watching that though, man. Don, let me tell you what's funny though, man. I'm gonna be honest. I went down the rabbit hole here recently on TikTok though, bro. Right, and I don't know how TikTok. Listen, you know when people talk about algorithms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you talk about the Instagram algorithm and TikTok's algorithm of what I might be interested in, they seem to have me down pat, bro. I'm talking about TikTok gets it right for me every time because randomly I'll get popped up on my feed in good variety, right? Good variety of I'll get like pimple popper extraction, black ingrown hair removal, toenail removal. While I'm watching, I'm just like I'm about to throw up, but I can't look away, and I'm watching it the whole time. So I get that full of my feed, right? I get random stuff But the one that got me the most this past week, though, bro, was Eric Mays. He's on the city council at in Flint, right? And listen, Eric Mays is like Joe Clark for city council, bro. He is very much. I'm talking about, be having me dying laughing, and they'll have his videos, the real clips of him, and then of course you have the people who are doing the voiceovers on it. That's hilarious. But the one that got me also, bro, that I didn't know was a thing, Selena Gomez and Hailey Bieber, though, bro. It's the most fascinating new thing to me, like development that I've seen in quite some time. And this is the conspiracy theorist in me, right? Have you seen this though? Have you watched? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know a little bit of the stuff. I'm not as heavily invested as you are, but
I'm heavily invested, bro. I'm hooked now, man. I got to see what's happening. I've never been more invested in two people who have nothing to do with me, have two separate walks of life that'll never have anything in common with me at all, though, bro. Never have been more invested, though, bro.
So what's the synopsis?
Listen, it's the T of all T's to be, right? So you know, Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber used to date, right? And they dated for a number of years early on in Justin Bieber's career. When they broke up, there were still some interviews where Justin Bieber still felt like, you know, he still had the feels for her, whatever. They just didn't get together, whatever. During that separation time, she went on and dated The Weeknd. Well, Justin Bieber eventually goes on and moves on with Hailey Baldwin. I think Alec Baldwin's daughter, one of that. And I've never even heard of her outside of her dad, but apparently she is kind of a big thing. I think she's a model, supermodel. I don't know. But I believe she was also in that circle of elite Hollywood socialites, right? So she's good with the Kardashians. She's good with this different folks or whatever, though, man. So he starts dating her and everything like that. And everybody was just kind of, you know, feeling some kind of way because, you know, right around that time, though, man, people still thought, you know, those fans of Selena Gomez really believed in her and Justin Bieber and thought that at some point they would get back together. But they kind of felt like apparently Hailey was getting in the way of them getting back together. And so what's been wild about that, though, man, is that people in the conspiracy side of things was like, yo, this ain't like no accident. Hailey has been kind of plotting this whole thing, and they go back to this whole timeline of basically where she was a big Selena Gomez fan. Like she seems like she's a stan. So everybody felt like Hailey Bieber just jumped in and stole Justin Bieber from her, or just jumped in. And so they were like, and then somebody said, nah, what y'all are missing, it ain't that she's like she's a home wrecker. They said what it is that y'all are missing is that she wants to be Selena Gomez. Like she's single white female in this. She goes back to this timeline and she's like, hey, you know, the Selena Gomez has the letter G in cursive tattooed behind her ear, right? Because her sister. Hailey Bieber did the same tattoo. Nobody knows why, right? She's never explained why she got it. Selena Gomez had Justin Bieber had gave her a ring that looks like a little promise ring, had a J, and it had like a little star diamond on and everything. Hailey Bieber go and get the tattoo of the J with the star on there, though, bro. She went out there, bro, has several of the same outfits that Selena had. I mean, very, very similar. She went through a couple of different interviews for her, though, bro, and she's almost saying verbatim. I'm talking about, listen, Melania plagiarizing Michelle Obama ain't got nothing on this, because she is going through the same emotion that Selena said in one speech, the same line. Selena has a new cooking show, right? Hailey went and got her own cooking show, right? Selena's intro for her cooking show is with her holding the camera like a selfie style. Hailey went and did the exact same thing, though, bro. I mean, she is going verbatim. And it's like, well, no, Selena is the prize. Her being like Selena is the big thing. Justin Bieber just so happens to be the man that if it was anybody else, she's saying no. If, you know, basically if this was you, right? You know, Holly would be with you, right? It's just so happened that she was like, no, she's a super stan. Now it is, I'm telling you, one of the most fascinating developments I have seen, bro, that I was completely oblivious to, though, bro. And now that I've watched about 15 videos, different videos of people explaining this, though, bro, TikTok just keep feeding me more and more. It is so good, bro. Like I literally felt like I felt like I was part of a gossip community, bro. Like where people just spread news and rumors, and I'm sitting here literally, bro, watching this, sipping my tea with my pinky finger out, just going to town with this. So fascinating, bro.
Yeah, you need to go ahead and join the Reddit.
Listen, because of that, I've never been on Reddit, by the way. I never understood Reddit. Still to this day, I don't understand Reddit. Probably no more than I understand Twitter. But I'm all now, it made me pick a side, and I'm all the way team Selena Gomez, though, bro. This one did it too. So Selena Gomez said this, though. This is the top now. Selena was like, she said, yeah, I just found people. She said that there was a picture that Selena wound up posting of her on this yacht. You know what I'm saying? She's out there in the swimsuit. And Selena's, she's not like a little kid no more. She's not the Disney girl. She's curvier now, right? Mm-hmm. And so I guess some people were kind of like fat shaming her, which I'm looking at her and I'm thinking like, I don't think that she's fat by any means. She's thick. She's like, it's almost like I didn't like Rihanna. I didn't think she was sexy until she put on some grown woman weight, right?
Yeah.
Well, Selena's the same way, right? She's not I don't look at her like a kid anymore. And so what's crazy about that is that when people started fat shaming her, Kendall Jenner or Kylie, one of them, maybe both of them, Justine Skye, who I don't know what she does. I think she may sing or whatever. Anywho, they make this video where it was one that was talking about, it was a sound that was already on TikTok where they were like, yeah, or something. That's what she get. But they deleted it later. But everybody was thinking like, oh, y'all are saying she deserves this talk about her, because right away she says that. So Selena goes on and talks to people. She was like, yeah, I think that the one development about me that I have to say is that, too many people have wrote the narrative of my life, or said the narrative without me saying anything, though, right? And she said, you know what? I looked at it myself and I said, hey, you know what? It's all right for me to not, for my body's changing. I'm not that kid's body. Now, fast forward, Haley says the exact same thing in the interview. I was like, oh, Lord. So I'm all the way team Selena on this one, though, bro. I done chose the side of the war, though, bro. And we all team Selena on over here. I'm following her on Instagram now, bro, and TikTok. I follow only like 10 people on Twitter, and now she's one of them, bro. I'm totally invested, bro. I'm part of the Selena fan club, bro, officially.
Yeah.
It's hilarious, bro. It's some of the best tea you'll find, bro.
That's dope. Yeah, you definitely need to get on that Reddit then and find it, because you'll and so that it'll pop up and give you the tea right as it comes off.
It's so good, bro. It's so good. And the thing, I just feel like, damn, I don't get into. Maybe it's just because because they talked about how Kylie Jenner got involved with this, and again, now Selena has her whole makeup line. It came out the gate, not too long ago. It's fairly successful. So that's how Kylie Jenner got pulled into that and everything like that. It was just weird though, man, that they were all used to be cool, and then now it just seemed like everybody talked like they're just mean girl though, and everything like that. And which is crazy because Selena's the only one of all those people who have who've gotten where they were, and it being self-made. Like they had a talent, they did something, and what I'm saying, everybody else just kind of had some things happen for them, Yeah, so it's crazy, but I'm team Selena on this one though, bro.
Man,
yeah, I'm a fan.
Speaking of tea, bro, what's going on with these Clippers, man?
They've lost. Listen, they've lost every game, I believe, since they had Russ.
They lost every game since the All-Star break. Lost every game since they got Russ. Right, but that's the narrative right there. Right there, what you just did is exactly what them analysts be doing.
Okay, but still, if they've listen, okay, so they've lost every game since the All-Star break,
Right.
and it just so happens to have had Russ since then.
Right.
Russ, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay, because let's talk about this.
Yes, let's
Russ
talk about
isn't Russ isn't even the thing that I'm more so interested in. Because I was watching something right the other day, and this was one of the biggest I told you so's ever, next to you crying at the bowling alley, bro. Because for the longest, I had told you about Paul George, and I told you I say this all the time. I have this thing, right? I have this thing about when
people join other teams, they submit.
You submit and you say you join, because listen, I understand that winning championships is hard, right? But when you commit and you say I'm going to join, you're conceding that you're no longer to be considered. There's levels to the there's the GOAT list, right? It's the reason why it's hard. I think anyway, it's the reason why it took Kobe to winning the championship without Shaq, because you had a Shaq in his prime, right? But I think that it's a reason why when you think about these top 10 players, right? It's why you think that people kind of, I think, subconsciously don't include Kareem or don't include Bill Russell, because they had to help, they had the team. But when it comes to Jordan and you have these other guys, it's like you're winning a ring as the guy, the leader, the 1A guy on there. It's levels. Yeah, you get the championship and everything like that, but it is hard, right? And I told you that when players like when James Harden, when people no longer come to play with you and you then go to play with other guys, you are conceding that you're not that guy, right? To me, then you say you might be the best number 2 player, right? The best 1B, but then there's a different level of conversation, right? James Harden did that. You can say KD, you can say however you want to say it. You can say LeBron. I still have the caveat with LeBron.
Right.
But specifically.
But here's the thing though. I never backed away from that conversation. Okay. My comment remained the same, right? My whole thing was, I don't have a problem with you saying somebody goes to join somebody to concede. My thing was include LeBron in that conversation. And of course, your whole thing was LeBron became the alpha when he went to said team. But the point was he went to go join other people.
No, but we make two different points on that. But this is the point that I've always maintained when it came to Paul George. Because listen, the young Paul George, right? The young Paul George, I thought, and I think I'll tell anybody, Paul George has the best game in the NBA because to me, he's smooth with the ball. He can shoot. He can do everything, and he plays defense. He can guard multiple positions. I think Kevin Durant's up there as well because Kevin Durant still plays good help defense, but Paul George plays lock you down kind of defense, right? But with that being said, I think that one of the things that I thought was that Paul George was going to be like a Kevin Durant. Like Paul George was going to be a Jason Tatum. He was going to be one of those dudes where you say, oh, we have these all-time conversations. Like we got to start to consider Paul George as a top 10 player of all time. Like down the road, I thought that he was building to be one of those kind of guys. But then it was when he got traded. And then we could talk the semantics on how that happened.
So this is where I think it's funny because Paul George explained how he got to Oklahoma City. But the part you're going to focus on is him conceding to the fact that I'm going to go join Russ and become Robin.
Yes. Two parts to that, but there's deeper to that. There's a deeper level to that. Because the part that he didn't mention on there when he talked about this recent conversation was the previous comment that he had made because he was mad that his team couldn't land him and Anthony Davis, right? Because they're a small market team. Anthony Davis didn't want to come there. So he was just like, if y'all can't get me the people, then get me out here. That's fine. Listen, I have no problem at all. This is my thing. I have no problem at all if a player asks to be traded, right? But to me, when you ask to be traded to a team to be the second guy, right? It's different to me. To me, it's like it would almost be like, let's just say if KD went to the Warriors, right? And for some reason Steph was injured for 2 years, or if Steph wasn't on the team, and KD wins those 2 rings, I don't think that people look at that the same, because I think that then, even though KD may have been the best player, he was, like they say, he'd be the bus driver, not a passenger. But I'm saying I only say that about Paul George specifically because I was a huge Paul George fan. I was a bigger PG fan probably than you was before he got to Oklahoma. And my thing is that because I held him in that regards, when he was saying, no, I need y'all to have, this was before the layout was 2 all-stars on the team, before all of that, right? But he was basically saying, I need y'all to put another person beside me. And they were looking at him like, bro, we thought you was the piece. You was that dude. And so then when we've
had this conversation.
Yeah, we had that conversation.
Right. And my response always was, it's the same thing LeBron asked for. LeBron always asks for people. Because
that's true. That's true.
So Paul George was doing the same thing. The difference, and I'm going to acknowledge, is because in this said interview, Paul George came out and said, like, nah, I don't even want to be the guy no more.
You don't want to be the guy.
I want to be Robin.
And it hurt my. Listen, I was at least, listen. That's a tough thing to admit. That's a tough thing. He says, I came to the realization that, one, I can't win it by myself, and I can't win it being the guy, the number one guy. Right? That's hard to.
That's hard, but at the same time, he's honest with himself, and now he's playing true to himself.
And I appreciate that, right? But my thing is that while I appreciate that, I'm saying the fan of me, the fan of Paul George, the fan in me looked at him like he was the number one guy. And so if he said, no, I'm not that guy, right? I get it. Even if it'd be one thing if he said, I'm not that guy right now. But I mean, when you come to that realization, I think you come to that realization of, all right, I can't win a championship with me as the number one guy, but I can help another team win. Like that just hurt my heart, because I thought that Paul George was equal to Kawhi Leonard. I thought he was equal to Russ, right? I thought he was equal to all of those guys. And see, that's the thing I think, at least even with James Harden, right? I thought that James Harden wasn't equal to KD. I thought he was an equal to Kyrie. I thought that he was an equal to Joel Embiid. But when you leave to go join them to be the number two guy, then that removes you from that next level conversation. And I tell you, the only difference that I have is that the only difference that I think that LeBron, it would be different if LeBron went to Miami and he wasn't the leader of that team. I know that was Dwayne Wade's team, Dwayne Wade's culture, everything. But LeBron James went there to be the leader. And when LeBron James when he went back to Cleveland, he went there to be the leader. When he went to LA, he's been the leader ever since then. And I just think that there's different levels of scrutiny that you get as the leader when the team doesn't win, that the second guy doesn't face. And that's what I think the difference is.
But I think here's the difference though. Here's one thing I'll say. Because like I said, we can argue semantics on even James Harden leaving and this, that, and the other. But Paul George gets them questions when the Clippers lose, because a lot of the times, mostly Paul George before Russ got there was the only star that was playing.
He would have played the most. Yeah, he would have played the most. But I think, but even then though, right? But he would have gotten asked those questions, but it wouldn't have been the kind of pressure that it wouldn't have been the same level of pressure, I think, that Kevin Durant would have gotten asked when he was with Brooklyn.
I'm talking about Kyrie. I'm talking about Kawhi though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know
think
that
both of them are gonna answer the questions. What I'm saying is, we know that the Clippers is clearly Kawhi's team. Like, you can just tell the difference when Kawhi's on the floor, whether he's load management or not, right? When he's on the floor, whose team that is, it's clear. And he was the one that requested the PG to get to the Clippers. So. I mean, I get all of that. My argument was never the conversation you're having. Mine was just saying, LeBron should have been added in there. I understand your point about LeBron, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying that I'm that big of a fan. I've been that big of a fan of Paul George's game that it just like I said, I was more so disappointed. Like I'm just saying that I thought, listen, bro, like when I saw Paul George in year 2, it was such a breath of fresh air that I was like, yeah, he coming, bro. He coming. And so when I was a big fan of his at the Pacers, though, bro. And,
right. But,
like I said,
but also Paul George, honestly, when his leg broke, I think that shifted his thought process.
It possibly, but I'm gonna tell you this though, he's been better post injury than he was before the injury.
Right, probably because he's clear now on the decision on what he's doing for basketball. Like I said,
I think so.
He changed his number, he changed his attitude, he changes the way he approaches the game. He likes the game differently. So I do think that he plays better post injury.
I do. I think that, but here's the thing though, bro. Part of that is that he takes the game differently because of that. Like this, he takes the game differently to me because he doesn't have the pressure of being the guy anymore, the number one guy.
Right, and I don't have any. I don't, like I said. Right. I think
that's been my only problem.
Right, but I think in this era, to me, I know it matters to you, but to me, in this era, it doesn't matter because so many stars now are joining up. Like, so, because if that's the case, do you feel that way about Kevin Durant joining the Suns?
Okay. Let me tell you this. Kevin Durant is a tricky person to judge that criteria on. And the only reason why I say that is because Kevin Durant, to me, instantly makes any team better, right? Instantly makes any team better. And Kevin Durant, you would feel his impact on the court with or without him being your number one guy. He's going to give you the same numbers. I think and what makes that different is Kevin Durant doesn't care to be the number one guy anymore, right? I think that stuff like that was important to Kevin Durant when he was with OKC.
Right.
Yeah, when he was it made a difference if you being the number one guy. Yeah.
So listen to what you're saying. So hear me out, right?
Yeah.
So KD goes to the Warriors and concedes of being, I'll be the third option. It don't even matter. I just care about playing dope basketball. So that's the same argument that I'm having about PG, right? Except for he didn't come out and say the stuff that PG said, because PG has to put up them same type of shots Kevin Durant has to put up.
You see, I think that this is the problem, though. I think that the problem is that when Paul George had been traded to a team, I think that there may have been only 1 year that Paul George got traded to a team, and when that happened, they were like the favorites to win it, right? Maybe the first year, right? But then even then, when Kawhi got hurt, everybody was like, all right, it's out the window. Mm-hmm. I think that what makes Paul George differently is that even when he played with the Thunder, it's like, yeah, you put up MVP numbers, but the expectations for you to win the championship wasn't as high, right? So I think every time Kevin Durant has moved on, even though he says, I don't want the responsibilities of being a leader, I think people still looked at him as the 1A. And I think that at least with Brooklyn, but him going to the Suns, to me, in terms of mentality, is the same as him going to the Warriors, right? They were kind of ready-made. You put him on there, and he makes you better. And I think that it's no snooze that the betting favors, like they say, went up and pick the Suns now as a favorite when they wasn't without him, right, for the West anyway. So I think that the expectations now is a championship. I don't think that the expectation with PG going to the team that he'd gone to have been championships for different reasons, right?
Right.
But,
well, I will say this, though. It's interesting that he wanted to go to the Suns a while ago, but DeAndre Ayton was like one of the people that was going to be traded out. And now he's over there with him. The Suns look good, man. I got a chance to watch the highlights, and it's impressive.
I'm gonna be honest with you, though. I mean, if it's me, right, I think personally that if you could have whipped up a deal where you were trading DeAndre Ayton instead of Mikal Bridges, or what's my dude name? The main guard that they traded out there. I would have traded DeAndre Ayton. I would have tried to keep I would have tried to keep old dude, man. Who was their guard. I like him because listen, DeAndre Ayton, I get it. He's going to give you about 19 points a game, maybe 10 rebounds, but I think he can do more. And that it is Mikal Bridges. But I think that's the problem that I have with DeAndre Ayton. It's like either one or two things, right? Either he needs the ball more to give you 25 more points a game, or he's just not his ceiling. Maybe this is the most that he can give you. And I think that Mikal Bridges, I just like him and I like his potential upside better than I like DeAndre Ayton for what I've seen them actually do at full capacity. I've seen Mikal Bridges go off, but I've never seen DeAndre Ayton just completely dominate. I've seen him play pretty good.
Right. But I think you need, like, again, I know I can already hear your response, but I definitely feel like they're more so setting up for the playoffs because you're going to be running into some big men in the playoffs that I think they need to match him up with in the playoffs.
But that's true, right? But then here's my response to that is that I do believe that's true. But then it's like, who? Let's say Joker, right? Is he going to outplay the Joker? Is that? And listen, I think like this. I think that matchup or not, they can beat the Nuggets. I think that they can beat the Lakers. I think that they can beat Utah. I think they can beat. I'm talking about
the West. I'm talking about if you're already thinking you're gonna come out of the West. I'm talking about the East. Like who when you play Boston, when you play Giannis, when you play Embiid, that's what I'm talking about.
What I'm saying is this. They had prior to them, they had Bismack Biyombo, right? And they had what's my dude at one point before he went to sign with the oh my gosh. They had Dario Saric, one that Oklahoma picked up.
Yep.
And they had another who was the guy? Who was the dude who JaVale McGee? Those were the three or four centers that they had before. I honestly think that, bro, with all things considered, that you can win the West with them as your center if you still had Mikal Bridges. You put one of them as your center, I think you still can. And with that being said, I think that the Suns.
No, I'm just saying. I just think the Suns are thinking about if we're playing the Bucks, they're looking at we playing the Bucks again in the finals. And we didn't have KD last time. Now that we got KD, that's pushing us over the edge.
I agree because you basically have pretty much some of the same roster, right? You just got but that's exact. But listen, that's exactly what I think that happened to the Warriors, right? You lost to LeBron and them that year before, and you thought, oh, okay, with KD on us, this makes us the easy favorite. Well, if you Phoenix, you pretty much have. I mean, you lost two of your best 3-point shooters and defenders. But ultimately, you got some of your core there, and KD should put you back over the top of that same team. It should. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it makes them the favorite, though. But in comparing it to PG, though, I don't think that PG's been traded to a team. They say, oh, yeah, that makes them the odds-on favorite to win.
Well, it was the first year they went to the Clippers when they was the new kings of LA.
Then Kawhi got hurt, and then that tossed everything out.
But I'm saying the expectation, though, on paper in the beginning was this is what it was.
Yeah, and to no point. So look, injuries happen. I get it, but I'm just saying though. I think that in the end, I just think that I don't know, bro. But listen, I think that's a big thing. Back on the PG, big thing to admit, bro. But it's what I've always. It at least confirmed what I've always thought. And I'm not saying that I'm right all the time though, bro. But it also confirms that my thought process of someone joining another team to be the number 2 guy. Listen, bro, it's just how I look at all-time players, though, bro. And I do have that asterisk. And when you look at guys who you say are all-time players, you know what I'm saying? Like all those all-time players, when it came to those moments, championships and everything, they were the guys. And it's tough because it's why you will never have Pippen rated over Charles Barkley, right? It's why most people won't have Pippen over Patrick Ewing or anything like that, because it was clear that Pippen was the number 2 guy, though, bro. And it's a tough thing, though. So
you basically saying PG is CJ McCullough now.
PG, yes, yeah. He's been CJ McCollum since Oklahoma. Yeah, he's been CJ McCollum. Yeah, exactly. Listen, CJ McCollum to me is a professional number 2 guy or
Ain't
number
that
3
Bradley
guy.
Beal?
Well, no, Bradley Beal is a number 1 guy, number 1.
No,
option.
he got.
I think
Got
this
pushed
is
to a number 1.
Now, I think that Bradley Beal is, listen, I'm gonna keep it 1,000, bro. I think Bradley Beal is a number 2 guy that masquerades as a number 1 guy.
I 100% think he's a number 2 guy.
I think that Bradley, I hate to say it,
bro. When
he can get you.
This is how I know
he's a up. Put like this. Like, I think that Paul George is one of the top 5 number 2 guys, right? He might, listen, Paul George, I would even go as far as to say, yeah. So let's talk about that. Number 2 guys like Paul George, Jaylen Brown. If Kevin Durant's now, is Kevin Durant a number 2 then behind behind Book?
No, KD is a anomaly.
Yeah. And so let's move KD.
This is why I say Bradley, but this is why I say Bradley Beal's a number 2 guy. Because even when Russ joined the Wizards, that was no longer Bradley Beal's team.
Yeah, no, I think it was. I think I think it was.
This is how I knew it was.
I think that in the clutch moments, you still going to Brad Beal.
Bro, this is how I know it was Russ's team. When they were showing the like when you put the team up like this, the Warriors versus the Wizards, it was Russ's face. It was never Bradley.
No, I'm not gonna listen. That might be true. I'm not gonna base it off of that. I'm just saying, to me,
Russ single-handedly put the Wizards on his back and took them to the playoffs, and they hadn't made it to the playoffs before that, and they hadn't made it to the playoffs since.
That might be true, but that might be true. I'm just saying that, to me, in the clutch moment, the ball goes to one guy because he's your best guy. He's your best shot maker. I think that's our best decision maker. And I think that's, but I think, though, this is the reason why I think that Brad Beal is really a number 2 guy, because I think that if you put Bradley Beal, and Bradley Beal will average 30 points a game, 32 points, whatever the number is, he can put them same numbers on any team. It doesn't matter. If you put him on the Lakers, he's going to average 30. If you put him on Portland, he's going to average 30. And I sometimes I wonder with Bradley Beal, if as good as he is, you'd be hard pressed to find a person who's put up more meaningless numbers, because he scored a bunch of points that nobody cares about, because it hasn't, and for all it's worth, it hasn't amounted to very much. And there's different reasons. Where LeBron, at the peak, at the start of Bradley Beal's prime, LeBron was in the East, right? So I get that you'll have to face LeBron in the first or second round. I get it. LeBron had the lock hold on that. But even then, outside of the playoffs, though, right? I mean, they haven't. They've never had the top 3 records in the East. Like, nobody's ever looked at the Wizards, even when they had him and John Wall there. Like, nobody besides them had ever looked at them as said, "Oh no, they're gonna come out they gonna come out the East." I look at them like the Hawks. Like, yeah, they got some good people, but no, I'm never picking them over whoever the top 2 other teams are, though, bro. So, but I do think if you put Bradley Beal, if you put Bradley Beal on the Bucks right now, they're going to be favored. If you put Bradley Beal on the Lakers,
you need to put Bradley Beal on the Celtics, bro.
That's too much. It's too many. I don't think there's enough balls to go around. Jason Tatum be pulling. Like, I'll watch the Celtics games.
This is
he be hiking them shots
right here. This is the all-time question right here. Who is Jacker? Who is more Jacker? Luka or Tatum?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's Tatum, bro. I think it's Tatum. And you know the reason why I think it's Tatum? I think it's Tatum because Luka, prior to Kyrie, didn't have anybody at all who was close to his talent level, and anybody close to, you think, oh, this person could be an option to take a shot. I think that somewhere maybe Jason
I
Tatum
disagree
just.
with that though.
But
Because
listen,
I mean, go ahead.
Jason Tatum, even though Jaylen Brown is an all-star, bro, for some reason it feels like Jason Tatum thinks that he's the MVP of the league, bro, and that he is far better. I personally like Jaylen Brown more, but Jason Tatum takes the most shots on the team. And when I watch some of the kinds of shots that he takes, like Luka will pile on shots, but I give him the pass because it's like, who else is going to take the shots on the team?
I mean, Dallas definitely has some shooters over there. I just think that they are the catch and shoot guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's the system that they're building over there, because I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I like the dude with the funky dreads. Is it
Finney
Bullock?
Smith. Bullock or Finney Smith?
Nah, not Finney Smith. It's the dude with the
Bullock. It is Bullock. It is Bullock.
Okay.
But that's my thing though. See, this is where I think that Kyrie helps them out. Because to be honest with you though, bro, I don't think that all those guys are just catch and shooters. I think that they changed their game to be catch and shoot shooters because they play with Luka. So to me, this is my thing. I think that those guys can give you more. Like Christian Woods can give you more if you give him the ball with the intent of him scoring earlier in the shot clock. But I think that Luka is looking for his shot, and it's just like James Harden. He's going to kick you the ball with 6 seconds left, and you don't have very much time to get in your bag. And I think that it's hard. But I think that you getting Kyrie takes the ball out of Luka's hand to get more people involved. So I listen, man. Luka's I don't know that I personally would want to play with Luka. The same way I don't know that I would have wanted to play with James Harden. Like, if I think that I can, like I couldn't imagine like Paul George playing with either one of them, because Paul George is good with the ball in his hand. But if you tell me you're going to turn Paul George into a catch and shoot player, like, get out of here. So it is kind of refreshing. I've watched the Mavericks play 2 times now with Kyrie, and it is kind of cool watching Kyrie be the one that makes the decisions though, bro. So yeah.
Anyway, what you got up for the weekend?
Man, so this weekend, bro, I think that I'm trying to go check out that Creed. And then I think that outside of that, though, bro, I might try to catch up with the homeboy, PBR, to see about hopping in the lab. But that's about it, though, man. I think I'm trying to relax a good bit, though, man. That's it. What's up with you?
Yep, trying to see that Creed, and then that girl Charlie gonna be doing the halftime show.
Yeah. I saw she got her own flyer these days out here in these streets there.
That girl ready, bro.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Hey, man, let's take them home, though, man. Slash Brothers, we out this piece.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast of all time. The Slash Brothers Podcast, the greatest podcast.
Can you
of
dig
all
it,
time.
sucker?
Yep.